Welcome to Excellence IAS. Let us do the editorial analysis for today, that is December 26th. A welcome move. So this is about National Food Security Act, Pradhana Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana. The National Food Security Act is a law of the Parliament. In this, priority households will get rice at 3 rupees per kg, wheat at 2 rupees, and coarse cereals at 1 rupee per kg. And the states will select the beneficiaries. Centre will provide for the necessary grain from the godowns of Food Corporation of India. In this scenario, during COVID-19, government has freely distributed the grain to NFSA beneficiaries and Antyodaya Anna Yojana under Pradhana Mantri Garib Kalyan Anna Yojana. Now today, government decided to discontinue this and make all the beneficiaries free or serve all the beneficiaries with the free grains. It will have certain advantages. So many of the states have expanded the number of beneficiaries. Obviously, this is going to decrease the financial burden today on the states as centre is expected to take the burden on its shoulder. Remember, the particular census which are basis for the identification of beneficiaries are 2011 census and the new census are delayed. In this scenario, we have to ensure that the beneficiaries shall not be left out. At least we have to take projected census or projections, and based on that we have to expand the net of the beneficiaries, wider net of beneficiaries. That is the first challenge. And the second is, obviously, diversions are always a problem. So in-kind transfers always face this challenge of diversions. When we have targeted PDS, many of the poor people will be left out. In Tamil Nadu, it has shown us that universal PDS will work better than targeted PDS. So, India shall shift towards the universal PDS. So, these are the things which we can suggest. Next article is about constitutional silences, unconstitutional inaction. This is about Article 200 of the Constitution. As per this, a governor can reserve a bill for the consideration of the President of India. There is no time frame with regard to governor or President of India on making a decision on that particular bill. So no time frame is being given. Obviously, a bill passed by the state legislature is dependent on the mercy of the governor to see the life of the day. So the article criticizes this. Why this particular provision was created in the first place? It is to create checks and balances in our federalism. The states may come and intervene with regard to the union projects or union legislations. So the states, they have to be stopped interfering with the union laws. For that, governor was made as an instrument. But today, this article is getting politicized. Many of the bills which are being passed by the states belonging to opposition parties are being reserved by the governor for the consideration of the President of India. The President of India also has no timeline to give his assent to those bills. The second thing is, if the President of India sends the bill back to the state legislature, the state legislature has to respond that with the necessary reasons within 6 months. So the state legislature has a time period, but not the center. Obviously, this Article 200, it makes Indian federalism biased towards the center. It is tilted more towards the union. This is what my point is. It made the union, it tilted Indian federation more towards the union. And the second, so when inaction becomes part of the governance, it leads to misgovernance. So governor's inaction is providing some kind of unpredictability to the work of the legislature, which can lead to misadministration and misgovernance. In this scenario, what is the way forward? First thing is, what is the time frame in which governor shall take an action? The time frame, the reasonable time has to be clearly mentioned. In this case, NCRWC, National Commission on Review of Working of the Constitution, headed by Mr. Venkatachalaya, Justice Venkatachalaya, it has stated what is the reasonable time frame? It can be 6 months. And then the Supreme Court of India said, governor must honor the will of the legislature. Sarkaria Commission went forward, wanted to change the process altogether. That is, at the level of drafting of the legislation itself, there has to be consultation between the governor's office and the Council of Ministers. So the coordination and consultation shall start at the level of the drafting of the bill. So these are the various recommendations we see in the context of this. Forest rights and heritage conservation. Now, Forest Rights Act, it has given different rights. One is land rights, the other are community rights. We have land rights and also we have community rights. So under the land rights, maximum an individual or a household can get 4 hectares of land if they are living on that land for 75 years or 3 generations. Many of the forest dwellers, scheduled tribes, their applications are rejected. Keeping that aside, there are certain areas which are designated as protected areas. Many of these protected areas are also becoming World Heritage Sites. In this, what is happening? The people cannot enter. There are many restrictions for these people to enter in these areas. So if you observe the Forest Rights Act, it clearly states that even in the protected areas, the collective rights exist for these scheduled tribes and other forest dwellers. But the forest bureaucracy is not allowing them to enjoy their community rights in the protected areas. There has to be a clarity with regard to this particular matter, is the essence of this article. The emerging omicron sublineages. So let us understand and compare the situation between China and India. If you observe, India has widely covered the vaccination and also herd immunity has come in India. But on the other side, Chinese vaccines were not effective. People in the age group above 60 years, they did not receive the vaccination. And third thing, zero COVID policy in China has led to loss of herd immunity. So the zero COVID policy has failed. So in these circumstances, today what is the challenge before us? The immunity is waning. The immunity is decreasing. So in this context, as new variants are coming up, genetic sequencing or genomic sequencing of these variants and genomic surveillance is very critical. So the governments has to be very closely work on this genomic surveillance and sequencing. The Narayana Institute, R.Narayana Institute in Kerala. Mr. Shankar Mohan is the director of this. The caste discrimination, it is the basis for the ongoing fight in this institute. So if you go for Tamil Nadu in certain schools, they have given various kinds, colored ribbons, arm bandages to people belonging, children belonging to various castes. This all shows that caste is still alive and it is a major factor for discrimination in India. So you can quote this as an example. These are the articles for today. Thank you very much.